Well, I've had a few weeks to get to know my new cheap Tesla, and so far, Elon, mwah, you've really outdid yourself with this thing. I haven't had a single problem yet, and really there is a lot to like about this thing. I like it a lot, but at the risk of getting taken off the Must family Christmas card list, I do have a few things that I hate. But hate is such a strong word. Don't be mad. Anyway, to review my last few videos, about a month ago I found the cheapest Tesla Model S with a clean title available for only $32,500 on autotrader.com, a place that I also write for, and linked below is an article where I detail all the things that I love and hate about this thing. So you don't have to watch, you can read it if you want to. Anyway, my Tesla has the larger 85 kilowatt battery, which is good, but it also has 107,000 miles, which is really high for one of these. And I had to pay $1,000 over the asking price because people were beating down his door to get this thing. He lived in California, I lived in Kansas, and he was going to raise this price anyway. So I had to pay $1,000 more and $1,000 to ship it here to Kansas. But even at $34,500 invested in it now, I think it was totally worth it. He was the original owner of this Tesla, and he took great care of it. Really good care of it. It's beautiful. A lot of the common problems with these early Model S's had already been taken care of with the previous owner, like the door handles. 3 out of 4 have been replaced, but there still is one $1,000 door handle waiting to fail. Also, the $4,000 touchscreen inside has been replaced, which is great. It's giant, it's huge, and the drive motor, the thing that makes this thing go, has been replaced twice. Twice, I know, crazy, but it's the latest version, so it shouldn't break. It's still on its original battery, and my last video showed it's still putting out about 94% of its original capacity after 6 years and over 100,000 miles. It's pretty impressive. But electronic battery aside, would you just look at it? I mean, look at it. I've always loved this Tesla and the way it looks because it's so clean, so smooth in its design. It's just beautiful. It manages to look great without any crazy styling embellishments like funky creases or spoilers or other stupid things. So many cars, and electric ones in particular, are just so overstyled. It looks ridiculous, but this thing is vague. It looks like a vaguely European car, and it's just so clean and uncluttered. Of course, looking vaguely European does help with the styling. Who doesn't want a European-looking beautiful car? And you can bet the lead designer, Franz von Holzhausen, wasn't born in Kentucky. But even European cars are overstyled a lot of the time. Like, the designers just can't help but find a way to make their cars hideous. You gotta put their own little selfish embellishments like a kid with a graffiti tag. And none of that is on this Tesla. The shape of the rear is even good, which is rare. Most hatchbacks they can't figure out. Oh, I don't have the key. Just one second. Back to the hatchback. There, it's a hatchback. It's so practical, but most of the time hatchbacks, they can't figure out how to design and make them look pretty. But it's not the case with this Tesla. Oh, you are so beautiful to me. Still, there is one thing that I hate out here, and that's this ridiculous, horrible panel gap. It took me a few days before I noticed it, but now that I see it, I can't unsee it. Panel gaps and weird fitment of panels isn't really new to Tesla, and if anything, it got worse when they unveiled the new Model X. But I mean, they're new to the manufacturing process. So I get it, Elon. I couldn't build a Pinewood Derby car myself, so really, who am I to judge? Moving on to other things I love, and you can't love a Tesla without loving the technology. That's the coolest part about it. You've got these retractable door handles and this giant touchscreen inside, and really, there's no key. It's just a little black pebble. There's no on or off switch. It just knows. You get inside of it, it runs the air conditioning. It starts up, you put it in gear, it goes. Even when you're not inside of it, it still runs the air conditioning every once in a while just to keep the car cool. Same goes with the heat. And it's smart enough to know when the battery's low to quit doing that. So this thing is super smart. There are so many other cool things with this Tesla that I could go all Doug DeMuro on, but instead I'm just gonna show you my favorite part, and that's charging it. It comes with your own personal magic wand, and how could you not be Harry Potter with this thing? Alamantis Galamantis Paduvius. Oh yes. That's so cool. Out. Release you. Out. Release. Release. Oh, it's locked. And then you see it becomes the sword and the stone when you want to take it out. It won't let you. So kids can't walk by and just unplug your Tesla and be jerks. All right, unlock. There we go. Releasius, Tesla Cordius. But as cutting edge as this Tesla was in 2012, it's amazing how quickly luxury rivals have caught up with their own version of giant techie screens, and this main instrument screen really is copied and has been improved upon with Audi and so many others, but this one is pretty glitchy. I've had it brick on me multiple times. Even once while driving, the screen has gone black, and then the Tesla screen comes up and the thing can totally reboots. It just totally reboots. The car drives just fine, but it's a little scary when all the stuff goes black on the inside. Now, I could probably fix this by updating the software and getting it out of the old 3G into like 4G or LTE. There's a software update available that I could pay for, but that hasn't been done yet on this car. It probably explains why the center is a little slow and glitchy as well. I mean, minor annoyance. It's hard to call it hate, but it is, yeah, it's a little, I hate it when it happens. I don't hate the technology. Now, I totally love the way this Tesla drives. It's so easy, you almost don't have to think, and the ride is ridiculously smooth. This thing has the optional air ride suspension, and it gives it an S-Class quality of ride. It's just so good, but at the same time, it handles really well. That's because the low center of gravity, the battery pack, everything's all low to the ground to where this thing actually handles. It's weird, but of course, being a battery-powered car, the acceleration's also instant as well. It's not like a normal car where you have to wait for a turbo to spool up or to downshift. Just immediate power the moment you hit the pedal. It's so impressive, and it's a little different. One other thing that's different about this car is braking. You really don't have to hit the brakes hardly ever, because of this regenerative braking system. When you let off the gas and you coast, it's already engaging the regenerative braking and slowing the car down. So if you get to know this, you can kind of coast to a stoplight. I'm not touching the pedals right now at all, and we're almost stopped. We're down to a crawl. I didn't touch it. It's kind of weird. It takes a little bit of getting used to. And if you don't like it, you can go in the settings and turn it off, and then it drives like a normal car. But this works. It's easy. And it also helps keep your battery life up because you're using the regenerative braking at its peak, at its full chargeness. So I like it. One more time. Ooh, face. Now, one thing that I haven't gotten used to yet is the seat. The seat is pretty uncomfortable. For a luxury car, it's not good. But this is my gripe with a lot of luxury cars and a lot of other cars, that they don't make them comfortable anymore. It feels like just rock hard, just super stiff. And this one isn't even bolstery to make it sporty, so it's just stiff and uncomfortable to be stiff and uncomfortable. Okay, so seats aside, I love everything about the way this car drives, and electric cars tend to have the benefit of being so simple. There's way less moving parts and wear-related items to deal with, and it seems Tesla nailed it with their battery technology, but time will truly tell how well they actually age. I love how everything seems pretty easy to work on, but I hate that Tesla seems to frown upon DIYers. And here's probably my biggest gripe with Tesla, and that's their unwillingness to help us fix our own cars. They won't sell us parts, they won't sell independent mechanics parts, nor will they share their diagnostic software and service manual so we can actually figure out how to do this ourselves. Now, I get that Tesla doesn't want to do the normal franchise dealer model for their sales, but their infrastructure isn't big enough to not have independents fixing the cars for them. And really, if I do have a serious problem, I got nothing here in Wichita. The only Tesla service in Wichita is a single supercharger station, and it's in a parking stall in between a McDonald's and an Applebee's. So like the most Kansas place in the world for a supercharger. It's ridiculous. But that's just for charging. For a real problem, I'd have to spend probably hundreds of dollars shipping it up to Kansas City. Still, none of this worried me enough to stop me from buying one. It's such a relaxing, easy car to drive, but also manages to be fun and interesting at the same time, and that's really a rare combination. Now, here in Wichita, Kansas, people still think the Tesla is a fancy pants spaceship from the future, so I seem like a real high roller in this thing, even though it costs less than a new fully loaded Honda Accord. Multiple people have offered to buy this car from me as well, but I'm definitely going to keep it because I really do like it, and I'm curious how well it'll hold up. And be sure to hit that like button if you think I'm disinvited from Elon's parties now. I hope not. I really want to see that Iron Man suit in the basement. Really. Thank you for watching.